come to sit down and rediscover what's life. Study world, the true meaning of real love power, not strife. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. Put our hands on the fire and cleanse the wicked. Right now, all of them who does worship, greed and vanity must bow. Unity is the banner, so come together. I say, and this love is for freedom, it's growing stronger each day. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. So rejoice in a rhythm of celebration. Come on. Lift your voice with a feeling of satisfaction as one. And let we move with a purpose, all freedom lovers. Hold tight. Stepping out of the darkness with one direction inside. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say. Stop hell and damnation. Oh, black woman, raise your hand, save your children. Oh, black woman, save them from self-destruction. Give respect that's true, give love that's strong. That would raise your brother and not pull him down. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. are still daughters of queens and kings. Your ancient glory, your regal grace. You, black woman, can save this race of Africa, of Africa, of Africa, of Africa. Ooh, oh, oh. Look around and you will see all you are that was not meant to be. Don't strive to be so like the enemy who raped the land and changed the destiny of Africans, all Africans, of Africans, all Africans. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh. Centuries of torture, centuries of pain. Get you, black woman, tied up in chains. Break free, I say, the time is now. Let your love be a people's vow of Africa, of Africa, of Africa, of Africa. Ooh, oh, oh. Ooh, oh, oh.
You better stay out, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay out, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay out, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay out, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay away, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay away, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay away, black woman. Remember you are number one. You better stay away, black woman.
Information, conversation, all on Street 91.9 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Don't you touch that dial. You're locked onto the Street 919 FM.
We are the Street
The only radio station bringing balance to the nation. 91.9 FM.
Sending a message, spread it over this land. Let lyrics flow from your hand, like wine pouring on the sand. I feel a rhythm so joyous, is in my heart, beat bouncing hands in my head, like a jubilee back from the dead. Sending music for me, all them from us, all the players. Tell them I'm ready, I feel like dancing tonight. All them street man, we got them higher. Play Mr. Bassman, I feel like dancing tonight. Yeah, it's like that. The music ready, keep the rhythm right there. I feel strong up and drum call pulling the footstep dancing over this way. Say now times have changed, making me misbehave. It's the sound of a language learned from my elders, taking me on a course, driving me with a force. Claim me with sweet romance, call all them comers, all the band players. Tell them I'm ready, I feel like dancing tonight. Follow that street man, he's on the fire. Play Mr. Bassman, I feel like dancing tonight. Yeah, right there. The music right there. Right there. The rhythm. Right there. Alado, aniwalo, alado. Alado, aniwalo. Alado. Alado, shamobalo. Alado. Alado, alado, aniwalo. Alado. Hey, aniwalo. I feel the might of my culture seizing the future, feeding me from its roots, taking over the stage, calming my people's rage. I'm just top of my notes in morning and evening, shouting out to a flame. Calypso is the name. Sing a sweet refrain, call all them drummers, all the band players. Tell them I'm ready, I feel like dancing tonight. Follow them strings man, let them get higher. Play Mr. Bassman, I feel like dancing tonight. He said, keep it right there.
I studied night and day how to get away. I've got to make a brilliant escape, but every time I think about the whip and them dogs, my body they start to shake. In my heart, there was much to say, and I hope that the boss would listen to me someday. Though he knew my request was small, it was a singing whip that will answer me when I call. When I had to chant and sing to express our feelings to that wicked and cruel man, that was the only medicine to get them to listen. And it's so Calypso began. Times had changed in so many ways, till one day someone said, "Free the bloody slaves." It was then I put out in the street, got no food, no clothes, and no place to sleep. I had no education, no particular ambition. This I cannot conceal. Forget my native culture. I live like a vulture. From the white boss, I had to steal. Thank you. Hello?
Yes, just hold on a little bit.
Oh.
Excellent, excellent. So, in response to your excellent story, here's what we will play. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and I was brought here from Africa. I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and I was brought here from Africa. Well, it was licks like fire from the white slave master every day. Got down on my knees, weeks and weeks before we crossed the seas to reach in the West Indies. They make me work. Yes, I work. I said I work. Yes, I work. Good Lord, no pay. I toil. I say I toil so hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying. Oh Lord, I wanna be free. Many times I wanted to run, but the English slave master standing there with his gun. Oh, I know he gonna shoot to kill. So I stay and I pray, but I'm planning still. I study night and day how to break away. I got to make a brilliant escape. But every time I think about the whip and them dogs, my body does start to shake. He made me work. Yes, I said I work. Yes, I work. Oh, Lord, no pay. I toil hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying, Lord. Lord, I wanna be free. In my heart, there was much to say, and I hope that the boss would have listened to me someday. Although he knew my request was small, it was the sting of the whip there to answer me when I called. We had to chant and sing to express our feeling to that wicked and cruel man. That was the only medicine to make him listen. And his so calypso began. He made me work. Yes, I said I work. Yes, oh Lord, And then times change in so many ways. Till one day somebody said, free the bloody slave. I was then put out on the street. I have no clothes, I have no food, I have no place to sleep. I had no education, no particular ambition. This I cannot conceal. Forgot my native culture, live like a vulture. From the white man I had to steal because he made me work. I said I work, oh Lord, okay. I toil so hard each day. I'm dying. I'm crying. Oh Lord, I wanna be
Welcome back again. As we on the anniversary of emancipation, it's important that you hear this. Ms. Andrews, why you play this? Why you chose this story?
I chose it because I thought it's something that goes with what emancipation embodies, you know?
I want you to listen to this, please, Mr. Marad, and all listeners. There's a part of the song that I need you to listen to. The whole song is extremely relevant, but many times there's this narrative about why we keep remembering and harping on it. But I want you to listen to this part. Listen to this. Listen.
Somebody said, free the bloody slave.
Listen to this.
I was then
Cast out.
put out on the street.
Yes.
I have no
Food
food
to eat.
I have no food, I have no place to sleep.
Listen.
I had no
No education.
no particular ambition. This I cannot conceal. Forgot my native culture.
Yeah.
Live like a vulture. From the white man I had to steal
Stop.
because he made me work.
Stop. I'm not sure that people understand, and they compare the African slavery experience and the East Indian indentureship. So misleading, but Sparrow captured the facts. Somebody get up there and say, free the slaves. So the slave was put out. No food, no house, no education, no particular ambition. Because after 400 years of slavery and beating, all they want to do is be free, you know. That's the priority. So they ask you, well, and by the way, no heritage, no culture, because after 400 years, they change your name, they make you worship their God, and they brainwash you generation after generation. Thanks, I'm fortunate for the East Indian, they were brought here. They came by choice. They weren't kidnapped from their native land. And there was a plan. They were given housing and a stipend. They were able to keep their religion and their culture. And after indentureship was ended, they were given land. I'm grateful for that. But don't compare the two. There's no comparison. And it's not because it's over 400 Yes, the African community has been extremely resilient. But there's still the issue of mental slavery. Apartheid in South Africa didn't end just not too long ago. In the 60s in the United States, blacks were compared to dogs, couldn't vote, had no rights. And there's no different in England and in the Caribbean here, in many regards. Just saying. Let me don't feel that after 400 years, forget that now, but what I mean, I just thought it was important that we don't let that part escape us. What are your thoughts, Mr. Mirage, on the story told?
Yeah, well, it is a very rich moment in radio this evening here. Very rich moment. We are celebrating, we are marking a critical, all important development in history, a historical development. And at the same time, we have had uh, a wonderful reading by our storyteller, reading a classic bit work of art, The Sparrow's Slave, and of course, superbly rendered. And of course, Darian's very poignant commentary. And that line struck me immediately. In fact, I have it written down here that I was going to make that point also that Darian made, that it is a hell of a thing. People were just thrown out on the street, no education, no means of making a livelihood, of survival, and yet they did. Yet they survived and they formed societies. But that the struggle never ended. I want to commend the reader for I couldn't remember her name for choosing the
Miss
slave,
Andrews, Miss Andrews,
right, and
Miss
for reading
Olivia
it,
Andrews.
Olivia Andrews, and for reading it with such emotion, um, bringing bringing out the pain, bringing out the importance, underscoring the importance, dramatizing it for us this evening. And of course, Sparrow Boy, Sparrow. Where, when we, we will never get another one like that. But of course, he must be remembered. That voice, my God, so moving, so penetrative, and yet so enchanting, so melodious but meaningful. Melodious but meaningful, full of pain in it, but making it enjoyable. That is the artist. That is the artist. Very strong lyrics. Person who wrote the calypso, and I'm sure Sparrow himself would have contributed to it. And the musicality, the tune, all combining to make a classic work of art that is that calypso. And of course, so much history in it, as Darian pointed out there. That's sending out the people out onto the streets and so on. And of course, we got a hint of how calypso began, lyrics, music, meaning, and that wonderful voice. And so, as I say, there's no other way to describe what we have had. I'm sure our audience would agree. This has been a very rich moment in radio for me, and I'm sure for others. Thank you very much, Darren.
Sure, Mr. Mirage. I think that Sparrow and the story, of course, he indicated us out of what Calypso was founded, was formed. And it's out of struggle, it's out of slavery. And we as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago don't appreciate it enough. But we should feel proud. We should feel proud. Um, I think that this Calypso and Sparrow told us why it came out. has this particular calypso captured and captured forever in song the experience of a slave. And it will go down in history. And for however long how old this song is, it is as relevant today as it was then. And generations will benefit by listening to it, to have an appreciation of what the slave experience was. And it's important to share it with our children of African descent in particular. I'm not sure anybody has care, quite frankly. I don't think anybody has care. But to have a sense of what the slave experience was, at least a sense, that trigger, I think it's important to hear this, to listen to this song by Sparrow. And he brought it alive. And I don't know, Mr. Miraj, if I shared the video with you, but there's a video that accompanies this song. But you have to have stomach for it. You can't just watch it. It requires some stomach. I shared it with a few people and they couldn't treat or deal with it. The video captures some of the experiences, and some of them are very difficult to deal with. But Ms. Andrews, I want to thank you for choosing. I was concerned, but I didn't want to influence the storyteller too much, especially at the time the thought came to mind, to ensure that it recognized the occasion that is emancipation. But I thank you for your choice of song, of story. I thank you very much for that. And it captured the entire occasion for me. I hope it did for others who were listening. The critical thing, though, is that next an important step that we seem not to be able to get yet. That is the emancipation, the mental emancipation, the recognition of where we came from. And I'm going to tell you, listeners, and to Miss Andrew, everybody else do have to understand it to know. We have to understand it. We have to navigate that hurdle that is emancipation of the mind. And the deliberate efforts to divide the family, the deliberate efforts for the plantation owners to take one man and let him have multiple children with multiple women so that he could increase his slaves, the number of his slaves, and then sell some of them as like animals to other farmers. The plantation owner also impregnating the females. Anybody who stand up and raise his voice for better quality of life was either beaten or killed. So let's open up the lines now and get our listeners in. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir,
Yes.
I like the program this afternoon.
Thank you.
I will not forget the white man. I don't know about forget. I can't forgive none of them for what they did to my people. I say my people. Right? And they're still doing it to us. They're still doing it to us. Right here in Trinidad, right, we are prevented from reaching our best potential. There are people in this country who telling us that we don't belong to the land and try to prevent us from getting back to the land. In this country of Trinidad and Tobago, they have taken away all or most of the opportunities our black people to excel or advance in everything, right? They make sure that they take it away so that we'll depend on them, right? They're still doing it unto us, right? People like Rudy and Darcy. I don't care about calling names. Them guys and them that are trying to prevent us from achieving our best purpose in this country, right? They didn't come with land on their back. Land don't belong to anybody. We entitled to go on the land just as anybody else and do what we're supposed to do. But they keep pushing the umbrella up in this country, and all we're doing is bawling, ow, ow, ow. You know what I mean? It is time that we turn this thing around and stand up for what we need and what we're supposed to be in this country.
Thanks
right?
for your call.
And tell them where to get off.
Thanks for your
I
call.
find it's time we tell them where to get off in this country.
Thanks for your call. Let's take another call. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
All I want to say, I only have one thing to say. I want to commend the storyteller for trying to capture what Sparrow did, how he did it, because she didn't have an easy task at all. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that. I'm sure she does as well. Let's take another call. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Play that part again. We have a caller. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Darian.
Welcome.
I out of all the things you said, you know what stood out to me? The part that you said, and this is not verbatim, this is me understanding what you're saying, that we have to understand it for us. And I keep saying that we do not need to apologize and we do not need to explain anything to anybody. We have to understand where we are and what we are doing for us. Self-love don't mean that you hate everybody else.
Correct.
Because if you recognize a lot of other people around us that is not us, that are not us, they are doing what they are doing because it makes sense to them. They're doing it and trying to explain to us what they're doing. It makes sense to them. And we have to recognize who we are and do what makes sense to us. We don't have to explain this to anybody.
Thanks
we have to be grounded in what we know we are.
I hear you. Support that too. Good afternoon.
Hello, Darren.
Yeah.
I'll just say this, this radio station is really an indigenous radio station. It gives you plenty local. Now, the reason why I say that, now TTT is a similar thing. TTT, you get plenty local Indian, African culture. That is something I've noticed with TTT. That get good local entertainment. And that is a good thing by bringing back TTT. Only strictly local. And you're getting things like, let me say, social issues like how family lifestyle has been.
Larry, how that relate to what we're talking about now?
Well,
Let's take our next call.
If you want to relate.
Let's take our next call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, to the host. I want to comment on Storytime song because that is what we are commenting on to this afternoon. On one hand, the song is saying, I want to run away, I want to get away because it's so bad. And on the other hand, you're saying, now that they set you free, I ain't have nowhere to go and they put me out without education. Now, that part of this song, I think too many times people put education in book and writing. These slaves were educated. They were educated people because they had to learn everything to get it done themselves. Nobody brought anybody to wherever the slaves were to make clothes for them. So they were taught how to sew. They were expert farmers. They were brought here to do farming. They were expert farmers. They were taught how to sew. Whatever equipment they used, whether cutlass or whatever, they must have had blacksmiths to teach them how to repair these things. Their shoes, they didn't bring anybody here to sew shoes for them. They would have been taught how.
Well, what is your point, though?
The point I'm making is that they were educated. They were educated in the skills of everything that they did and everything that they had to get themselves.
And?
So for me, when the songs, that part of the song that say they were not educated, I differ. I believe they were educated in that area.
All right. I don't think you understand the context on which it was said, but and what it really means and what the experience was that the same white people, and they tell you that they had wasn't prepared to compensate and pay and hire and treat them equitable and fair. That's the point. So even though they had skills, and they're talking about generation here, it was difficult. And if you're working, you had to rent, you had to buy food, you had everything. You ain't have nothing on your own that you own. And then I ain't gonna work so hard this evening. Let's take our next call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darian.
Good
Darian, all what the African man go through in this country, it still have people forgot is them in. Everything belongs to them in. You understand? All they want is more and more. And they opening their mouth like it is them pass through what the African pass through. And sometimes we open our mouth, they jump out. You understand? That is why we have to love one another and come out and say what as we say.
All right. So we are at the end now. Ms. Andrews, thank you very much. Thanks for your role this afternoon. Very important. Very critical.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much and have a good one. Happy Emancipation.
You too. Thank you.
I want to end with this part of the song.
I had no education, no particular ambition. This I cannot conceal. Forgot my native culture. Live like a vulture. From the white man I had to steal because he made me work. I said I work.
You know how much Africans couldn't read? Ladies said they were educated. You know that them couldn't read?
How many Africans still cannot read?
You understand? They couldn't read. Yeah. You weren't allowed to read. And where are you going to apply for a job if you can't read and write?
They had skills, but they...
No, you could have, you got cutlass and cut down the forest.
So I tell you I am educated, you telling me I educated.
Yeah. But you couldn't read.
I tell you,
you couldn't read English. You couldn't write English. I'm not sure this lady understand that era and that time. I don't think she understands. But that's okay, man. Over time, it's all good. It's 3:59 and our news presenter is already here. And as this song ends, Mr. Maraj will... And then the level of abuse is frightening, you know, but I guess you're supposed to be able to function normal in light of all that you're being kidnapped, beaten, denied opportunity, and all that happened, but you're supposed to operate normal like everybody else. We go to the Center 5 at 4.
Where's your co-host? He's not.
He's there.
He's there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm here.
We're
right.
waiting.
All right. So, I was waiting for Darian to finish myself, but I know it was an emotional moment. And we move from history to the present with Kevin Garcia to read News Center 5 at 4 in his very good style as usual.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 4.
LGBT community renews call for government to get rid of buggery law. The mother of murdered Nayland Glasgow says he was a good boy. The search continues for a 16-year-old in waters off Manzanilla, and the month of July declared the hottest on record. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Now with the news in detail, I am Kevin Garcia. Government is told to stop wasting time and remove the Bagri law. The call comes from Pride TT spokesperson Rudolph Hanamji. In 2017, High Court Justice Devendra Rampersad ruled this country's Bagri laws are unconstitutional, null and void. Government has said it would appeal the ruling. The Attorney General at the time, Faris Al-Rawi, said appealing the matter is crucial as there are 26 other laws apart from the Sexual Offences Act which target homosexuality. He said the decision made in this matter will set a precedent on how the other laws are to be treated with. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, Mr. Hanamji said, "It is a shame that this country still depends on the British."
So ironic that we're about to celebrate Emancipation Day tomorrow, and we still have to let law lords in England determine what is right in our country. We think that that is a very deliberately delayed approach. And while you are waiting for law lords in England to tell you what to do, you have your own citizens right here who are victims of discrimination. So it's a failure as far as we are concerned to deal with what the High Court has told them. And if we go on the current track record, the government has been losing a lot of cases before the Privy Council have lost. So maybe they should just save the taxpayer dollars and save time and change the law.
Nevertheless, Mr. Hanamji said Pride celebrations 2023 were a success.
I could only feel a great sense of, to use the obvious word, pride and accomplishment, and to see the parade still take place after a month of activities. Again, we're still reeling from COVID-19. This year, there was also pushback from evangelicals and other parties regarding the LGBTQ community, and there was a lot of fear and violence. We lost persons like Kevin violently. So to see people still have that bravery in the face of ongoing struggles really made the committee proud, and I have to give thanks to this year's committee. They had some challenges, but they overcame them, and they did a very good job.
The march took place from Ross Street, which then turned in front of the British High Commission, then to along Ariapita Avenue. The mother of murdered Nayland Glasgow says he was no troublemaker. Pamela Glasgow says her 21-year-old son had his girlfriend were unjustly killed by people in the community. Yesterday, at around 1:30 a.m., Mr. Glasgow and his 28-year-old girlfriend, Dana Joles, were shot and killed at Upper Abipujade Street. Their bodies were discovered close to a bridge in the area with multiple bullet wounds. Police say several 5.56 shell casings were found at the scene. The grieving Ms. Glasgow says the killers are close by.
People, the hurtful part of this, plain talk, bad manners. No strangers came into Scorpion and murdered these people. Anybody answer my question why they murder my son? All you come and all you take my baby, the last of my 5 children from me. I and my son was very close. Not one day police had to come in my place for my son. You understand? Not one day. The same people that we live in among, who just call me mother, is the same people come and kill my son and kill my daughter-in-law because she recognized them.
Ms. Glasgow is convinced justice will be served.
But I will pray for all your killers because a day for me, tomorrow for all you. My son didn't live by the gun and he died by the gun, but all you living by the gun every day. And trust me, all your turn will soon come. All you will also die by the gun. I am pained because this is the second grandchild of my own that I grew up without mother and father. But I just say sometimes, my God is awesome. Because if Nayland didn't have a baby so early, I would have nothing. Nothing from my son. Only take away part of me.
The motive behind the killings remain unknown and investigations are continuing. Police are seeking public assistance in identifying the decomposing body found in Sangre Grande. Police say a landlady reported that for the last 2 days there was a foul stench on the premises. Yesterday morning, she made checks and found the decomposing body of one of her tenants. A report was made to the Sangre Grande police. When officers arrived, they saw the body in a room. The body was in an advanced stage of decomposition. The corpse was found in a semi-prone position with the left hand on the bed, the right hand below the body, the left leg crunched to the chest, the right leg bent onto the left foot, and the head decomposed beyond recognition. He was clad in a dark colored t shirt and a dark colored three-quarter pants. The man was last seen alive approximately 1 week ago. An autopsy is said to be, or rather, is expected to be performed pending identification. Mama Guy. This is how opposition MP Saddam Hussein describes talk of local government reform. He says the Prime Minister's attempts to reform and the August 14th local government elections is wrong. He says local government reform is already law, so Dr. Keith Rowley is fooling people in a bid to get votes.
So this thing has been passed since last year, and they have done absolutely nothing to make the law work. So the local government reform is already the law. So when Rowley say to vote for the PNM on August 14 for local government reform, but this thing is already the law. How could you vote for something that is already the law? It is the government, the cabinet, Rowley, Faris, Stewart, Imbert. They have to, what we have to call, turn on the law.
He said yesterday the reintroduction of property tax is also deceiving. Mr. Hussein explained that everyone will be swept into the net, and this is unfair.
So it have people saying, well, you know, I live on this piece of land for so much years, they can't do me nothing. No, that is not true. The law has been adjusted so that occupiers will have to pay property tax. So if you have a deed or you don't have a deed, you're paying property tax. If you're living in an HDC house, you still have to pay property tax. Nobody is getting away. They have several levels of property tax, residential. So the house across the road, they look like there's a residential house. But what about Sam? And Sam have a business here? Yeah. And Sam running a business here? And Sam living here also? Sam, do you know you will have to pay commercial and residential rates?
The MP was addressing a meeting of his United National Congress in Marabella West, where the candidate is John Michael Alibokas. The search continues for missing teen Tyrese Singh in the waters of Manzanilla. Reports say the 16-year-old was bathing at Mahana Drive Beach yesterday when he went under. Tyrese was among a group of friends bathing in the sea water when he got into difficulty. Onlookers say he went under but never resurfaced. And in another incident, a 9-year-old boy is suspected to have drowned in Toko. Reports say the incident took place yesterday when 5 people got into difficulty while bathing at Mission Beach, Toko. News Center 5 understands 4 of them were rescued while the boy disappeared underwater. The police and the TNT Coast Guard were notified. Up till last evening, the boy was said to be assisting in locating the 2 teenagers. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, head of the group, Captain Valence Rambarat, said his group has partnered with other relevant state agencies in finding the boys.
A team left at 3 a.m. to head to Tuku, and the other team arrived at Miaro at about 10 this morning. As at 8:10 a.m. this morning, the team in Tuku, which I'm currently leading, covered about 3 kilometers of shoreline from where Omari Providence went missing, the 9-year-old boy. and in Miaro they currently covering 2 to 3 kilometers as well of coastline. That is where 16-year-old Tyree Singh went missing at sea yesterday. So at this point in time, we found nothing. We've located nothing at all, but the search continues.
And a 60-year-old woman drowns while swimming in Las Cuevas. According to police reports, Margaret Ramdouli visited Damien Bay with relatives yesterday. Reports say Ms. Ramdouli went into the water for a swim at around 4:30. Shortly after, her relatives told police they noticed her floating face down in the water about 50 feet from the shore. One of the relatives pulled her to shore. An ambulance was called in and emergency medical technicians tried performing CPR but were unsuccessful. She was taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital where she was declared dead at around 6:19 p.m. Ms. Ramdouli was a resident of Arena Road, Freeport. And to some news now outside of Trinidad and Tobago. The month of July has been declared the hottest on record. It is not just the air temperature that is spiking. Oceans are also heating up. In Thailand, thousands of dead fish washed ashore last month. Scientists say climate change is a contributing factor. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Low reports from Samut, Prakan, Thailand.
It's usually a picture-perfect paradise, but thousands of dead fish washed up along this beach in Thailand's southern Chumphon province in June. Local authorities blame it on a toxic algae bloom that occurs naturally, but scientists say climate change is making it worse.
If you tip the climate system over towards a new state where it's warmer, where the patterns of climate have shifted significantly, then suddenly these natural variations become problematic.
Problematic, especially for communities that rely on fishing for livelihood.
It means they lost their income, and not just small scale, but also bigger, like industrial as well, because these fish also the same fish that they caught. Some of these are juvenile fish, so it means that they cannot reproduce for another school of fish.
Scientists say oceans soak up more than 90% of the Earth's excess heat. It's good news, but it comes at a cost. Coral reefs are bleaching, storms are at record strengths, and sea levels are rising. The Gulf of Thailand, for instance, has swollen and washed over coastal communities.
So those poles behind me are remnants of a community. There used to be a health center, a school, houses around here. But people have had to move out because this area is perpetually flooded.
A heat wave swept Thailand in March and April, and soaring temperatures continue to grip other parts of the world. As people bake in the heat, sea animals are also having to endure boiling waters. In Florida last week, sea surface temperature rose beyond 38 degrees Celsius.
And that story there brings us to the end of your news to 4 o'clock. As we go, here's another look at the headlines. LGBT community renews call for government to get rid of Buggery law. The mother of murdered Nayland Glasgow says he was a good boy. The search continues for 16-year-old in waters off Manzanilla, and the month of July declared the hottest on record. I am Kevin Garcia. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our next Major News Center 5 can be heard this afternoon at 5 o'clock.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio.
In commemoration of Emancipation Day 2023, I-95.5 FM celebrates the sound sounds of freedom.
Like other colonial powers, the British had allowed the widespread practice of slavery to take place during the time of the expansion to the New World. In 1772, the ruling in the case of Somerset versus Stuart determined that slavery was unsupported by the common law in England and Wales. The case was seen as a key turning point in the change towards emancipation.
The sounds of freedom. I-95.5 FM celebrates Emancipation Day, August 1st, 2023. It's Emancipation time again. Come join us for this year's Pan-African Festival TT, commemorating emancipation at the Legiasu Omawale Emancipation Village, Queens Park, Savannah, from July 28th to August 2nd. Come and shop at the biggest African market in the Caribbean, where you'll find the largest collection of African-inspired art, craft, jewelry, clothing, educational materials, and food. Enjoy 5.5 days of family fun with special activity zones for children. There'll be entertainment, jazz, pan, tambu bambu, calypso, rapso, reggae, dancing, and drumming. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Admission free until 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., entrance fee is $40. Children under 12 free. Let's meet up at the Village, July 28th to August 2nd. The Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, creating opportunities to achieve our full potential. Don't settle for subpar entertainment while paying sky-high bills. It's time to upgrade your entertainment and downgrade your bill with DirecTV Lite, your gateway to a world of endless entertainment at an unbeatable price. And for a limited time, you can get up to $200 in savings when you sign up and receive free installation, plus get up to $200 in cash back. Say goodbye to boring evenings and hello to endless entertainment. We're also offering free installation, which means you can start enjoying your new DirecTV Lite experience hassle-free. DirecTV, the smarter way to enjoy television. Sign up at directvttpackages.trnd.ly or call 877-4388.
Wait, how are you going busy so this early 4-day morning, Mabel?
Melda, y'all are busy. I don't have time to talk. I'm going to get the money Auntie Clara sent for claim me barrel and to get myself ready for heritage.
Heritage, you say? It's still having that?
Melda, what kind of question you ask me? How you mean? Here now, this is the 36th year of prestigious Tobago Heritage Festival, and this year they're calling it homage.
Homage?
Yes, Melda. Like that word they're too big for you? Let me break it down. They're paying tribute, honor, and respect. Honoring the past is a celebration of the present and an inspiration for the youths of the future.
So watch now. When exactly is all of that?
Here, the official period is from the 24th of July to August the 1st. But it have plenty to see, Melda, and plenty to do before that. Oh, God, you're coming.
50 years they have been here giving you the best. Trini to the bone. KFC. TNT is home. The goal of them 50 strong every line anytime. Trini to the bone. KFC. TNT is home. Doors open in 1973. St. James the first outlet in Trini. It's TNT that make this singer. For KFC, TNT is really sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, we love up this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. Best place in the world to ever be. Oh, 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 oh.
It's KFC's 50th anniversary in TNT. Come join the celebration. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Repsol Lubricants, European technology, supported by a robust R&D team and tested at the highest level of motorsports. Repsol Lubricants, for your high-performance engines, gives maximum output and protection against friction, wear, and oxidation. Repsol Lubricants brings you enhanced properties with multiple quality levels that meets global standards. Repsol formulates mineral and synthetic lubricants for your passenger cars, motorcycles, heavy-duty engines, and industrial applications. Repsol lubricants, recognized by international car manufacturers and endorsed locally by leading mechanics. Call 217-LUBE or visit casl-lubes.com for more information on Repsol's high-quality lubricants. Ask for Repsol lubricants at an auto shop near you or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
The road to homage continues. It's our We Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. All are we and all are who are we be.
On the 26th of July, Pembroke is calling you to come to Salaka Feast.
On July 27th,
walking with the garlic and liquor too, folk tales and superstitions.
And on the 29th of July, the day before the wedding, the groom will be at the Rum Shop Lime in Scarborough, trying to figure out why he's getting married on the 30th of July in the Mariah Old Time Wedding.
Sunday, July 30th, we travel to the Far East for a Tobago Harvest experience in Speyside. Then, hear the blowing of the shell, see the pulling of the sail, and listen to the beating of the oil drum on July 31st at the Black Rock Sea and Pan Festival.
Bringing the curtains down on August the 1st, we dance to the rhythm of the drums and celebrate through the streets of Crown Point.
Homage! All are we, and all are who are we be.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
The Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago presents the 2023 Pan-African Festival TT, commemorating emancipation, the greatest celebration of Africa outside of Africa. Come celebrate 185 years of emancipation at the Legiasu Omawale Emancipation Village, Queens Park, Savannah, with a full week of activities. Friday, July 28th, 10 a.m. It's the grand opening of the village. 8 p.m. a Calypso concert. Shikamu, Lord Relator. Saturday, July 29th, 6 p.m. Remembering Mark Nottingham and his music. At 8 p.m. it's a Unity Reggae concert. Sunday, July 30th, it's a family day. Food fair, youth pan explosion, jazz at sunset, and pan by moonlight. Monday, July 31st, 10 a.m. it's Youth Day. At 8 p.m. Pan-African concert. Every day from 3 p.m. it's Rhythm and Voices of Africa. And on August 1st, Emancipation Day from 4 a.m. it's a tribute to our ancestors at All Stars Panyard. 6 a.m. Freedom Morning Come, a play by N2 Pearl Springer. 9 a.m. Kambule Street Procession to the Emancipation Village. 7 p.m. Flambeau Procession from Queens Park, Savannah to All Stars Panyard. Village opens every day from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Admission free until 3 p.m. Entrance fee $40 after 3 p.m. Children under 12 free. The Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, creating opportunities to achieve our full potential.
Digicel brings 50 days of Java to you. Win a PlayStation 5, carnival costumes from Tribe or Yuma, gas vouchers for the year, and more. Purchase a 1-day, 3-day, or 10-day plan for your chance to win.
Celebrate the good life, yeah. Celebrate the good old times for 50 years KFC ideal. Celebrate now with a boss meal and join in the good vibes. KFC makes everybody happy. We are part of TNT since 1973. Now let we celebrate, celebrate. Life is good with KFC. Celebrate, celebrate. Get a boss meal and join in the fun game.
Celebrate KFC's 50th anniversary with a boss meal. That's 3 pieces of chicken, 1 regular side, and a large drink for only $49.95. From KFC, it's finger licking good.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
To Mbappe! What a great day it's been for him!
Get ready to witness the most epic showdown on Emancipation Day, August 1st. The I-95.5 Fat Match football team is on a roll, and they're heading to Mayaro to take on Caution Crew at the Mayaro Recreation Ground from 5 p.m. sharp. Prepare to have your mind blown by the fearless I-95.5 Fat Match football team as they leave no room for caution on the field. Their dazzling skills and hilarious antics will have you in stitches while they chase victory with their trademark dribbling moves. Don't miss the chance to witness a match full of laughter, drama, and jaw-dropping goals. Be there to cheer, laugh, and enjoy a football spectacle like never before.
History beckons.
Nicholas Paul streaking away with it. Look at this. This is absolutely outstanding sprinting. So much ground to make up for Jack Carlin. He's really going for it, but Nicholas Paul will not be stopped. Trinidad and Tobago are going to claim a gold medal through Nicholas Paul. Sensational Kieran riding. What a victory. What a performance. What a moment for Trinidad and Tobago. Take a bow, Nicholas Paul, star of the show.
Glasgow, Scotland welcomes the best of Trinidad and Tobago cycling for the World Cycling Championships. August 3rd to 13th to Neil Campbell, Akil Campbell, Kwesi Brown, and Nicholas Lee Paul have only one thing on their mind: give of their best and bring glory to Trinidad and Tobago again. Join I-95.5 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and W107.1 FM for the one and only cycling coverage from Andre Aero-Batista and Tony Lee for the World Cycling Championships, live from Glasgow, Scotland. Live the dream, feel the experience, be part of the joy.
Nicholas Paul with one more lap to go has opened up a slight lead here. Santiago is trying to cover him, but Paul begins to extend. They turn into the straight. Nicholas Paul, here comes Paul. It's all Nicholas Paul. Glory to Trinidad and Tobago. Paul wins again. They can't stop Nicholas Paul.
Brought to you by Republic Bank, Unicut, the Sports and Culture Fund, Office of the Prime Minister, W107.1 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and I-95.5 FM. The most dominant name in sports coverage. History beckons.
Nicholas Paul streaking away with it. Look at this. This is absolutely outstanding sprinting. So much ground to make up for Jack Carlin. He's really going for it, but Nicholas Paul will not be stopped. Trinidad and Tobago are going to claim a gold medal through Nicholas Paul. Sensational Kieran riding. What a victory. What a performance. What a moment for Trinidad and Tobago. Take a bow, Nicholas Paul, star of the show.
Glasgow, Scotland welcomes the best of Trinidad and Tobago cycling for the World Cycling Championships. August 3rd to 13th to Neil Campbell, Akil Campbell, Kwesi Brown, and Nicholas Lee Paul have only one thing on their mind: give of their best and bring glory to Trinidad and Tobago again. Join I-95.5 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and W107.1 FM for the one and only cycling coverage from Andre Aero-Batista and Tony Lee for the World Cycling Championships, live from Glasgow, Scotland. Live the dream, feel the experience, be part of the joy.
Nicholas Paul with one more lap to go has opened up a slight lead here. Santiago is trying to cover him, but Paul begins to extend. They turn into the straight. Nicholas Paul, here comes Paul. It's all Nicholas Paul. Glory to Trinidad and Tobago. Paul wins again. They can't stop Nicholas Paul.
Brought to you by Republic Bank, Unicut, the Sports and Culture Fund, Office of the Prime Minister, W107.1 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and I-95.5 FM. The most dominant name in sports coverage.
Oh, yo. Give thanks and celebrate.
More time and keep it fit. Brindella Fashion says,
Give thanks and celebrate.
Give thanks and celebrate emancipation. Come celebrate Emancipation Day with us on the road. Tuesday, August 1st from 9 a.m. Come meet the big truck at the Brian Lara Promenade and move with us to the Lijiyasu Omawale Village, Queens Park, Savannah. Come celebrate Emancipation with Brindella Fashions for a wide range of authentic African-inspired clothing and jewelry. Located at Dinsley Gardens, Trent City. All are welcome to join us on the road August 1st from 9 a.m. Let's give thanks and celebrate.
Give thanks and celebrate. Give thanks and celebrate. Give thanks and celebrate. Give thanks and celebrate.
He's a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a businessman. He cares. He's a citizen. If it happens in Trinidad and Tobago, Citizen Darian speaks. If it affects you, Citizen Darian speaks. If it affects Trinidad and Tobago, Citizen Darian speaks. More country than party, Citizen Darian speaks. Listeners of I-95.5 FM, Citizen Darian.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'll make a little switch, people, in terms of the line of conversation, switch in terms of the angle of it, but I'm not diverting too much. But I need to share information with you that you need to know. You need to have an understanding of so that you can make your own, form your own conclusion, right? And I go into the politicians. You see, why I decided to treat with this issue is because very early there were those who said Dr. Odi too black to be Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Then they call him Blank Man. Then they call him Oreo. There were all kind of things. And the disrespect continues. And there's where I started. I'm starting here for you. This Saturday gone here. The day before yesterday, 8 a.m. Saturday morning, at the Mocha Golf Course. Dr. Rowley is either at Mocha Golf Course or the golf course in Chagaramas or the golf course in Trin City. Or if he's in Tobago, he's in plantations on the golf course. Early, that's his exercise, that's his means of relaxation. It was reported to me, and by now some of you would have seen it, where it is reported that Gary Griffith, who lives apparently in Mocha, slowed down in the vicinity of Dr. Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, from his heavily tinted vehicle, turned down his window, and heard insults at Dr. Rowley as he hung his body out of his vehicle. So there was no doubt as to who it was. He didn't just lower the glass. He hung his body out of the vehicle and heard insults to the Prime Minister, who was playing golf on the golf course. 8 o'clock in the morning. And there were those who were in the company of Dr. Rowley, and there were those other people on the other side of the road who were up, if you know the golf course, when you're driving up the road, you have holes on either side of the road. So if you stop in the middle of the road to do anything, people on either side will hear you, depending on how raised your voice. Now this is where we reach in Trinidad and Tobago. And if this is the truth, and I have no reason to doubt it from the people who said it, because they were shocked, disappointed, that in Trinidad and Tobago in 2023, during a local government election, that somebody who was once Commissioner of Police, Minister of National Security, advisor to Prime Minister of National Security, could conduct, and who once again to be Minister or National or Commissioner of Police could behave in this manner. Well, if this is the truth, Father, help us. Help us. And this is unprovoked, unprovoked behavior. Now, I'm confused. If this is the truth, why would Gary Griffith behave in such a manner? Unprovoked, unsolicited. This is embarrassing. This is disrespectful. This is inappropriate. This is frightening, Trinidad and Tobago. This is frightening. Really, really distasteful and frightening. But here's where I want to take you. I want you to see the picture, the whole picture here, because it doesn't end here. So Gary Griffith is back in an arrangement with the UNC to oust the PNM and to put the UNC in government. But of course, the local government will not do that, but it'll give them the momentum. So they start there. So you hear what? Yeah, I told you what happened on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, right? But I want to take you back a little bit. I want you to listen to this. Listen to this clip. Now, this is from Gary's friend, Philip Alexander. Listen to this, and then I'll read something for you. Play it for me, please.
Then I get in my mailbox that Smari went before the Joint Select Committee 3 years ago. This is not 8 years ago. This is 3. And it's like Smari don't remember the crap he's talk. Because he went before the Joint Select Committee and told the Joint Select Committee of Parliament under oath that the leader of the opposition is leading a political party that is paying $42 million in 2 contracts to gangs to disrupt the country and help get them back into office. Now, Smari, we're telling we, how long ago did you and Kamala fall back in love? How long ago? Was it? It's not 8 years ago. You said that was 8 years ago for the video, and it's 3 years ago for the Joint Select Committee. How long ago it was? Let me speculate. When you lost the police commissioner work?
I want to read something for you, and I want you to listen and bear with me, right? I don't want to read the whole article. But I need to share this with you. Report, and this is a February 28, 2020 story by Rhea Tate. Report links 3 UNC frontliners to criminals. Reports dealing with inquiry on crime. Gary Griffith. Oropouche East MP Dr. Rudal Munilal and 2 UNC deputy political leaders, one of whom is a senator, and the other used to be the managing director of AGC Corporation, have been named in evidence given to the Joint Select Committee on National Security as having connections with known criminal gangs. The UNC has 3 deputy political leaders, Jolene John, Kadina Amin, and Dr. David Lee. Testimony was given to the committee by both the Minister of National Security, Stuart Young, and the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. And the committee tabled its interim report in the House of Representatives yesterday. The report said the MPs became aware of that there was a planned police surveillance of the meeting. The committee report, which summarized the evidence, stated that the Oropouche East MP had planned a meeting with 2 gang leaders in his constituency office, but the meeting was aborted. The report stated that the MP became aware that there was a planned police surveillance at a meeting, and he told the Commissioner of Police what he knew, something which caused the Commissioner to tell the Joint Select Committee that he was concerned about a major breach of confidentiality of the Special Investigating Unit. The committee was also told that afternoon that individuals had a dispute at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Munilal paid a Hyatt bill of $580 of these individuals, one of whom was a known drug and robbery offender who was taken into custody after the responding police officers were informed that there was an outstanding warrant for his arrest. The police report on the matter indicated that the MP expressed surprise at the foursome's action and claimed they were supposed to meet with him at the nearby Parliament building. The minister, Stuart Young, was informed that by the police, that the MP had met with these individuals several times before at the Hyatt Regency. Now, I want to skip a little bit because I think you get the message. The report noted that the MP made a request to meet with the Commissioner of Police with a sense of urgency on the day that the meeting was supposed to take place, and the MP preferred certain explanations, so the police were meeting with the individual. Griffith confirmed that the Hyatt incident was contained in a special branch report. Griffith also informed that the SIU submitted a report on the planned meeting between the MP and the two gangs. The JSC was also told about a deputy political leader of the UNC, a senator, who had connections with the mosque in Karapu. Now, I don't want to read the whole article because of time. But how can I, as a citizen, reconcile and vote, if I have to vote, with Gary Griffith, for Gary Griffith at all, or see him in a position of authority in this country? He's not believable. There's no integrity here. You went to the Joint Select Committee in 2020 with the Minister of National Security and told the Joint Select Committee there's a special report which alleges the opposition to be funding criminal activity in this country with gangs, contributing to the murder rate. The article is here. His friend Philip Alexander is also talking about it on the platform now. And you said that to the Joint Select Committee. But you now want office and is prepared to go back and associate with the same people who you make this report to the Joint Select Committee of Parliament? Trinidad and Tobago, what are we doing? What are we doing? And because of our democratic process, these people are free to offer themselves to you to govern Trinidad and Tobago again. But you have the power, but I am confused as to how this is okay. How this is okay to happen. How come it's okay for the person who was commissioner of police and applied for the same job again? Now the political leader of a political party running for elections in Trinidad and associating with another political party or two could now hang out of his vehicle Saturday morning and hurl insults to a prime minister of a country. And people around was able to hear and identify who you were without any provocation. And that is okay in Trinidad and Tobago? And the target of all of this is the blank man, the Oreo, the one that the people have been saying too black to hold office, to be prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying this to all of you listening on the eve of emancipation in Trinidad and Tobago and in other parts of the world, in the region. Why are we taking this? Why are we taking this kind of behavior? And how, in the context of everything, and this was an article in the paper. You could go and pull it up in the Hansard and in the Parliament, and you could pull it for yourself. And you could see the report from the Joint Select Committee. And it wasn't the politicians who made this allegation. This was a report done by the police. The police report says that this member of parliament, Dr. Woodall Munilan, and others have been meeting regularly with gangs, known gang leaders at the Hyatt, and holding meetings in his MP's office. I want to ask this question. Is it unreasonable then to ask the question, if the wars between the gangs and the murders are being financed purely because you want the government to look bad? Is that the agenda? Is it unreasonable to ask that question? Is it unreasonable? This is a police report and it was not denied. The report was not denied. There was an effort to try and explain it. But the MP admitted that they have met on several occasions. The police confirmed that this MP in particular has been had several meetings that he had with these known gang members and gang leaders. And of course, the special operation by the police informed about the meeting. So it didn't happen. The last one. Trust, that's why you want vetted officers, eh? So there'll be confidentiality. And the police had the work to do, eh? I see a gentleman asking why the PNM in lock up nobody. PNM, I'm not charging to lock up nobody. Police had to do the job. So what Ria Tate is reporting is what came out of the Joint Select Committee. Trinidad and Tobago. What is fueling the murders in Trinidad and Tobago? What? A promise of $42 million and money. And there was a conversation. And look, Darian, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. But if you pay attention to the recent set of murders, there's a conversation as to why it is happening. The calls from prison. I want to give Mr. Mirage an opportunity to respond or to say his piece because he may not respond. But the names are clear. Dr. Munilal's name is clear in the report. After having several meetings with this criminal element, with the gangs. It's in the Joint Select Committee report that was tabled, a report tabled by the police. And Ria Tate has written about it. And there had been no respondable. Of course, nobody in Suha. Nobody sent no pre-action protocol letter to see. But it's frightening. So you could pull up on the golf course, see Dr. Rowley, the Prime Minister, with his friends, playing golf 8 o'clock in the morning, and other people on the golf course, and you could wind down your glass, lean out your vehicle, and insult the Prime Minister. And that's okay? It's okay? And then this comes. You sat down with the Joint Select Committee and told them this is a police report where the police have noticed the relationship between the UNC politicians, the senior ones, and non-gang members. Before I wrap up, play that thing again before Mr. Mirage comes on for me, please. I want you to listen to this before I go. This is his
Then I
friend.
get in my mailbox that Smari went before the Joint Select Committee 3 years ago. This is not 8 years ago. This is 3. And it's like Smari don't remember the crap he's talk. Because he went before the Joint Select Committee and told the Joint Select Committee of Parliament under oath that the leader of the opposition is leading a political party that is paying $42 million in 2 contracts to gangs to disrupt the country and help get them back into office. Now, Smari, we're telling we, how long ago did you and Kamala fall back in love? How long ago? Was it? It's not 8 years ago. You said that was 8 years ago for the video, and it's 3 years ago for the Joint Select Committee. How long ago it was? Let me speculate. When you lost the police commissioner work?
Mr. Mirage?
Right. Thank you very much, Darian. The first thing that you related, as you said, you don't know if it is true.
Which is that? Which is, as I said, I don't know if it is true.
But you kept saying that.
I said, and if it is true, I said, again, not that I don't know it is true. I said the sources I got it from are reliable sources.
Yeah.
People who are actually there.
You're saying if it is true. So
Well, no, it's a matter. No, there's no doubt. All right. That is all. I just said that as a matter of speech. But the sources I got it from were there, and they experienced the insults.
All right. So until we hear more about that, until I hear from Gary Griffith himself, I will take it with a grain of salt for the time being and wait until I hear verification.
Hold on a second. If you hear from Gary Griffith that he did what I said he did?
Now that it's been made public by yourself, I expect him to respond publicly to these allegations.
So Mr. Mirage, let me read this for you then. The man slowed his heavily tinted vehicle, turned down his window, hurled insults at me, and he hung his body out of the vehicle. That was about 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. That is from the Prime Minister, Keith Rowley.
All right. Well, I would expect Mr. Gary Griffith to respond to that. And I want to hear what he has to say. I really want to hear what he has to say.
Or is it that you are doubting it now?
Let me say this. If it is true, and I'm using your language, if it is true, then it is a very serious thing, because the politics should never descend to that level as far as I'm concerned. But because as far as I recall and I know of Gary Griffith, he has been behaving in a largely in an honorable way. And he has performed very well as the police commissioner. Crime was down, the image of the police force was up, and he was expected to be reappointed the police commissioner, because he had topped the merit list that was being sent. Of course, unfortunately, that merit list was derailed by a certain high official who went to the president's house, right? A certain high official, the prime minister confessed to being that high official, who went to the president's house, and in the course of events, the thing wasn't sent to the parliament.
I can ask you a question, Mr. Mirage?
Yes.
Let
me finish now, Darian. Let me finish that, man.
I just wanted to ask you a question on that matter that you just raised.
No, well, you go ask me afterwards. Let me finish up the whole thing.
Go ahead, man. You go ahead.
Right. So yeah. So I hold Gary in high esteem. I make I supported his coming into the office of the police commissioner, and I still hold him in high esteem. And He's obviously being held in high esteem by the people of Trinidad and Tobago, as you can see in the public meetings. Both he and Jack Warner being held in very high esteem. There's a lot of love being showered on them because there is a crisis in this country today, a serious crisis, a crisis of governance. We have one of what people consider, and I share that view, I've said it over and over, the worst government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Today.
Finally,
Never
Ralph.
had
Finally, Ralph. Finally. Finally, Ralph.
I have said it over and over.
Finally.
Let me finish now, please. Let me finish. With one of the crassest prime ministers ever. I mean, you're talking about somebody who has demonstrated, who has really demeaned the office by his behavior, the kind of language he uses, you know.
How come you don't criticize? How come you don't criticize? You don't say the same about Mr. Chavez Augustine when he uses his language as a Tobagonian.
Well, I ain't talking about Chavez today. I'm talking about Rowley and Gary and all of that. The local government election, right? The same thing that we're talking about. So that these people like Gary and
Jack
and Jack Warner, linking up with the UNC, they have brought, Darian, they have brought hope to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
So Ralph, you will ignore the numerous charges that Mr.
I am not ignoring anything. I'm not ignoring anything.
No, but hold on. What you're saying is you find.
Let me finish now, man. Let me
go ahead,
finish now.
man. Go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Right. Let me finish. Right. Yeah. The charges that the things that you have mentioned about all of those police reports and so on are serious if true. Are serious if true. And I would have expected that if they were true, by now we would have had charges laid and people would be in court and in jail and so on. But nothing like that has happened. So one has to wait to see the veracity of that. In the meantime, we have had a country on precipitous decline. The economy, notwithstanding Moody's and Standard & Poor's, the economy is only a bit buoyant because of high oil and gas prices from Putin's invasion of Ukraine. But unemployment continues to rise. So does poverty in this country. People are suffering wherever you go. Nothing is working. The delivery of justice, the collection of garbage, potholes. Even the Prime Minister has had to apologize for the pothole. Nothing is working. We have never been in such a bad state. And I have witnessed in town and country, in the malls, in the market, among people, professional class, and people of the lower levels, a sense of joy and a sense of optimism and a feeling of hope with Gary Griffith and Jack Warner coming into the politics and promising, and that combination is promising deliverance from the worst government ever in this country, in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. And so one has to welcome that. One has to welcome that until people are proven to be guilty of the crime that you are now accusing them of.
Well, actually, Ralph, I was about to ask you if the charges Mr. Warner is on and ready to be deported or extradited, if that is the kind of person with that background that the U.S., not Trinidad and Tobago police, wants him for all the crimes that they allege that he committed.
The fact is, Darian, Warner says that as night follows day, and I'm quoting him here, he will be proven innocent. The man says that. I have to wait and see.
Do you expect him to say? Do you expect him to say anything else?
In the meantime,
and if Mr. Warner said that, why doesn't Mr. Warner go to the U.S., go to the courts, and prove himself?
I nearly call you Jack. Hold on. Let me finish now, man. Let me finish, right? The point of the matter is, he is a national. The laws of Trinidad and Tobago said the man can participate. Let him participate and let the people deal with him. He has gone to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever he has gone, there's only love being showered on the man. The people feel love for him. They retain their loyalty. And I
But who
welcome
are the people, Mr. Maraj?
all over the country.
No, but who are the people? Have you been following the campaign?
I'm watching what is going on in the news.
But only place that he has been going and being received is in the UNC constituencies.
He came down in Marabella. He came down in Marabella here in my own hometown. All of the reports are very positive about the reception he has got. The people see him as a deliverer at this time from the mess that we are in. You understand? The worst prime minister ever, crassest prime minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Oli has been prime minister from 2015 to 2023.
8 years. Eight wasted years.
But it is under Kamla Prasad Bisesa government that the most members of parliament are before the courts, including Attorney General, for misconducting office and so on. And so I'm trying to figure out from you before we go to the news, what is your description of worse?
I am talking about the state of the country today.
So you have ignored. So no, but you said the worst government ever.
Yes,
and by the time the UNC left office, there were 3 days of money to run the country from the central bank governor.
That is a lie. That's a fallacy. That's Imbert's fallacy.
So hold on, you didn't hear. So you didn't hear.
That has been proven to be false. That has been proven to be false.
Mr. Maraj, I know you've declared your hand very quickly. Very nice.
Imbert is the master manipulator of facts. Don't take everything that he says to be true.
Well, actually, you are in strong competition with Mr. Maraj. If that is the case, I think that you are leading Mr. Imbert in that regard. But because you have ignored the report from Standard & Poor's and from Moody's.
I have not ignored. I have not.
Yes, you have.
But I am telling you that notwithstanding that report, our economy is teetering on the edge of the precipice. For 8 years, this Mr. Imbert and Dr. Rowley have done absolutely nothing in diversification. Absolutely nothing.
By the way, you know that the Moody's report and the Standard & Poor's report, those people have said otherwise.
No, let me.
So this is according to Ralph Maraj.
Gentlemen, we need to go to News Center 5 at 5.
They are talking about the increased revenue from high and oil and gas prices because of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Anyway,
no, I want to tell you, Mr. Maraj, we have read the report, and what you are saying is very unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think you understand the report.
No, I can't because I'm not as bright as you are.
Of course you understand.
I know. But I want to tell you can't get away with misleading the country with that.
I am not misleading the country.
Yes, you are. You are. The reports are clear. The reports are clear. The reports are clear. You are very dishonest. But we have to go to the news now. When I come back, I will treat with you. When I come back, I will treat with you. When I come back, when I come back, we will treat with you. All right?
Well, you treat with me. You and your hounds treat with me.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Maraj, I'm gonna tell you something. I want to tell you this. One thing I'm not gonna take from you is describing callers as dogs. You're disrespectful.
I use the word.
You are disrespectful. You are damn disrespectful, and I will not tolerate that from you. You cannot call people hounds. You cannot call people dogs. You are damn disrespectful.
We now go to.
No, you did it deliberately. You are damn disrespectful.
Gentlemen,
you cannot call people dogs.
I'm pulling down your lines. We need to go to News Center 5 at 5 TNT. This will discuss. We will continue. Thank you.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 5.
Government says drone technology and contraband at the nation's prisons are being addressed. Marijuana, arms and ammunition seized and one man arrested during police exercise and evacuation orders issued in Canada. We'll tell you why in this newscast. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Now with the news in detail, I am Kevin Garcia. The issue of drone technology and contraband at the nation's prisons are being dealt with. The assurance comes from the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines. Last week, reports and photographs emerged of a drone being used to traffic contraband at a prison in Aruca. Commissioner of Prisons Deopasad Pasad later confirmed the reports, or rather, Deopasad Ramuta confirmed the reports today. Minister Hines says it is clear contraband cannot get in by the usual means. He says the use of drones is a clear indication that criminals are being forced to use alternative means. However, Minister Hines says his government will beat these criminal traffickers.
The use of drones as a more recent and a more modern technology has now entered into the theater, and we are mindful of that. We have ample evidence of the use of drones as we tighten up other areas, have scanners, searching prison officers, searching personnel going in, patrolling around the institutions, camera systems, all to prevent contraband and the risk that they pose. They have now introduced the use of drones as another way of trying to beat the system. We are aware of it. Action is being taken to deal with them.
Minister Hines assures that the drones and their owners will be dealt with swiftly. He says action has already started.
As you would have heard the Commissioner of Prisons report, several of them have been shut down, several of them have been confiscated, and investigations in those regards are continuing. I can assure you that the government is mindful of the problem, and I give you even greater assurance that action is being taken to avert the potential for that. And I'm confident that we'll get on top of that as we have gotten on top of other means, as this ongoing fight to keep contraband out of our prisons must continue.
Prison authorities have confirmed that several contraband items have been confiscated by prison guards over the past few weeks. Cigarettes, wrapping paper, and cellular phones are said to be the most prevalent items. One man is arrested and a firearm and quantity of ammunition seized by officers of the North Central Division during an Operation Blue Line exercise. The exercise was conducted between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. today, during which officers arrested a 36-year-old of Aruca for possession of one Glock 23 pistol loaded with a magazine containing 13 rounds of ammunition and a quantity of marijuana. Investigations are ongoing into the finds. 4 persons were also arrested after warrants were executed at their homes for various offenses. The exercise was spearheaded by ACP Subaru, Senior Superintendent Ramphal, and included officers of the North Central Task Force, Court and Process Branch, Transit Police, and Licensing Division. And to some news now outside of Trinidad and Tobago, the regional district of Okanagan, Similkameen, and the town of Osoyoos in BC, Canada, issued an evacuation order Saturday evening for 732 properties. It's in response to the out-of-control Eagle Bluff wildfire that crossed over the U.S.-Canada border. The CBC's Georgie Smythe files this report.
There's still hundreds of people out of their homes here in Osoyoos, given that the fire is still burning 3 days after it was discovered. The Eagle Bluff fire was discovered on Saturday afternoon. The evacuation orders came down on Saturday night, and there was just some really terrifying visuals, videos, and stills that were taken by residents here of that fire coming over the hillside. It had been blown up from the U.S., from Washington state, by very high winds pushing from south to north. We did see hundreds of people leaving the town that night, and we did actually catch up with a few of them yesterday. They talked to us about what it was like to leave that night, to see those fires coming over the hills, and also how they're feeling now.
I had got an alert telling us that we were on alert, and then the next one that came was the evacuation, and the firemen were running down the road knocking on doors.
Tired, anxious. You don't want to see your property threatened, and I think ran the clear down, but it was a sleepless night.
So as it stands now, people have been asked to conserve water to save it for firefighting efforts, and to stay off the lake, which is being used by tankers for those water bombing efforts.
And that story there brings us to the end of your news, to 5 o'clock. As we go, here's another look at the headlines. Government says drone technology and contraband at the nation's prisons are being dealt with. Marijuana, arms and ammunition seized, and one man arrested during police exercise, and evacuation orders issued in Canada amid wildfires. I am Kevin Garcia. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our next Major News Center 5 can be heard this evening at 6 o'clock.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio.
You exercising to get fit and healthy. Going to the rivers and beaches to spend time with the family. Yet you're leaving the place dirty. Whether it's Chancellor, Buku, the Savannah, or one of the streets by way, let us reduce, reuse, and recycle and clean up the country. No matter your age or gender, everyone can be an Earth defender. Get into green with Swim Call.
Wait, and when you going busy so this early 4-day morning, Mabel?
Melda, y'all are busy. I don't have time to talk. I'm going to get the money Auntie Clara sent for claim me barrel and to get myself ready for heritage.
Heritage, you say? It's still having that?
Melda, what kind of question you ask me? How you mean? Here now, this is the 36th year of prestigious Tobago Heritage Festival, and this year they're calling it homage.
Homage?
Yes, Melda. Like that word they're too big for you. Let me break it down. They're paying tribute, honor, and respect. Honoring the past is a celebration of the present and an inspiration for the youths of the future.
So watch now. When exactly is all of that?
Here, the official period is from the 24th of July to August the 1st. But it have plenty to see, Melda, and plenty to do before that. Oh, God, you're coming.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
It's emancipation time again. Come join us for this year's Pan-African Festival TT, commemorating emancipation at the Legiasu Omawale Emancipation Village, Queens Park, Savannah, from July 28th to August 2nd. Come and shop at the biggest African market in the Caribbean, where you'll find the largest collection of African-inspired art, craft, jewelry, clothing, educational materials, and food. Enjoy 5.5 days of family fun with special activity zones for children. There'll be entertainment, jazz, pan, tambour bamboo, calypso, rapso, reggae, dancing, and drumming. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Admission free until 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., entrance fee is $40. Children under 12 free. Let's meet up at the village, July 28th to August 2nd. The Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, creating opportunities to achieve our full potential.
Green Dot continues to deliver internet connectivity to a wide range of communities in Trinidad. With our combination fiber and wireless network, you get the service you need wherever you live. Stream your favorite shows, enjoy online tuition, stay in touch with your work team, and connect with friends and family with internet service at a price you can afford. As communities continue to grow, we continue to deliver. Call 224-GDOT or visit gd.tc today. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Divas Calypso Cabaret International invites the nation to display national pride as we celebrate 50 years of soca. 50 years of soca. The Lord Shorty Testimony on August 30th, 2023 at the Central Bank Auditorium from 8 p.m. featuring the music of Garfield Blackman, Lord Shorty, Shorty I.
The old Indian chick, she's so bony, skinny like a whip.
Get your tickets at $200. Available from all members of Divas, Athletes by the Park, and Crosby St. James, or call 680-7722. Come celebrate 50 years of soca. The Lord Shorty Testimony. Be there. Be there.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
Hey, Pops, remember when I was learning to swim at 5 and you told me there was nothing to fear?
Yeah, you were screaming to get out the pool.
Well, it's just like First Citizens Online Banking. There's nothing to fear. It has first-class security to protect your information. You get alerts to verify every transaction. And you can always double-check every online transaction before you confirm.
I'm not so sure. I mean, this is money we're talking about.
I always trusted your advice, Dad. You can trust mine now.
Okay, I'll sign up.
First Citizens Easy Banking makes your everyday banking so much easier. Visit firstcitizensgroup.com to get started. First Citizens, we put you first.
Up to 40 residents of the Blake Avenue Sugars Lane area are thanking their Member of Parliament and the Community Water Improvement Program for providing a secure water supply.
As the Member of Parliament, we are most grateful, and I do intend to continue partnering and working with the Ministry of Public Utilities, the WASA department especially, to bring pipe-borne water to all the residents and in those communities who are devoid of pipe-borne water.
CWIP, serving communities, improving access.
This was a production of the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister, Communications.
The road to homage continues. It's our We Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. All are we and all are who are we be.
On the 26th of July, Pembroke is calling you to come to Salaka Feast.
On July 27th,
walking with the garlic and liquor too, folk tales and superstitions.
And on the 29th of July, the day before the wedding, the groom will be at the Rum Shop Lime in Scarborough, trying to figure out why he's getting married on the 30th of July in the Mariah Old Time Wedding.
Sunday, July 30th, we travel to the Far East for a Tobago Harvest Experience in Speyside. Then, hear the blowing of the shell, see the pulling of the sail, and listen to the beating of the oil drum on July 31st at the Black Rock Sea and Pan Festival.
Bringing the curtains down on August the 1st, we dance to the rhythm of the drums and celebrate through the streets of Crown Point.
Homage, all are we, and all are who are we be.
Are you ready for a world of entertainment at your fingertips? With DirecTV Gold, you'll get everything you enjoy because you deserve it. For a limited time, enjoy a whopping 25% off for 3 months when you sign up today. That's up to $471 in savings. Enjoy action-packed blockbusters, heartwarming dramas, and laugh-out-loud comedies. Every night is movie night with DirecTV Gold. But wait, there's more. Sign up today and receive free installation, plus get up to $400 in cash back. Treat yourself to the ultimate entertainment experience. Sign up at directtv.ttpackages.trnd.ly or call 877-4388.
Cause jail they're trying to escape. We go beat them this election. Direct choice is what the people say. It will take a stronger opposition to beat the PNF party today. The doctor says reform is the way. He answered the call. It's power for all. He put you in charge. It's control at last. On election day, we voted one way.
On August 14th, make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political advertisement.
This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian and Ralph on the Eye.
Welcome back, Trinidad. Welcome back, Tobago. Welcome back to all our listeners, wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. I want to make an appeal to you listening. I want to make this appeal, right? This station has very high standards. High standards that I am very proud of and standards that I abide by. And I just would want to appeal to our listeners who wish to call, and those of you who are on the World Wide Web, to maintain those standards and don't let anybody, regardless of what they say or do, allow you to submerge yourself in the nastiness. Let's take the high ground. Please comment on the subject matter and the issues at hand. And don't be derailed and allow yourself to be pulled into the nastiness. Don't do that. Stay focused, stay on topic, stay on issue. Don't allow those who want to make their unfortunate comments, nasty comments, racist comments, derogatory comments to derail you and move your focus, right? Is Mr. Mirage here? Is Mr. Mirage here?
Mr. Mirage, are you there? I told you Mr. Mirage is not going to be there, you know. He did that the last time we were here. He's not going to.
Now, let me say this, right? It is, let me apologize to the callers, to the listeners and callers. It was very inappropriate and not in keeping with this station's standard and quality to deem people hungs. In other words, dogs. I can't support it. I don't support it. And I find it very inappropriate and disrespectful. And as a member of the program, a team this afternoon, I take the responsibility for apologizing. It's not something that this station tolerates or facilitates or encourages. Right? So let's move on. Please remember, keep a level head. Let's stay on subject.
The issues raised in Citizen Darien. Stay on topic. We'll open up the lines now at 622-3937 and take your calls on the issues raised in Citizen Darien. For the benefit of our listeners, it was Jawala Rambarat, former governor of the Central Bank, who told the country through telling the Minister of National Finance that we only had 3 more days of money. That wasn't a manipulation by Mr. Warner, by Mr. Imbut or anybody. Go back and let's check the facts, right? Let's open up the lines. Let's take your calls at 622-3937. I think it's clear now who supports what. Take a call.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Darren, first thing, I want to know if I could use the word jackass. That is forbidden.
I would prefer you don't, because it's not appropriate for the air way.
All right, okay.
Because, not children may be listening as well, and I just think...
All right, okay. So bear with me, I get into a point, right? It may sound like it's not only the topic. I'm starting now. Loose tongue, anything goes. Yesterday was yesterday, today is today, Jack. No morals, no ethics, no integrity equals no pride, no dignity, and turns a Jack into a Jack. Having heard Mr. Maraj, I realized that the name don't necessarily have to be Jack to be admitted. That's my contribution.
Thanks for your call. Let's take another call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pleasant afternoon, welcome.
Yes, I heard the exchange on the radio just now. And while Mr. Maraj's response did not surprise me, it astonished me, the level of venom that was dripping in his words. Darren, I live in this country. I have lived through several governments. And I don't know that anybody who is honest could make the statements about this country with the amount of venom and viciousness with which I heard Mr. Maraj making those remarks just now about how terrible this country is and whatever and whatever. So what I'm saying is that, I don't know why the station keeps having Mr. Maraj on this program, to be quite honest. Okay, because clearly he's never going to be fair. Let me put it that way. He never appears to be fair. Okay? And I want to suggest something to you, Darian. You see, when you put out your opinions and your op-eds, I think you have to be prepared to get all types of responses, if I'm saying that correctly. Okay? Because, you got a little hot under the collar.
Well, I'll tell you why I got hot. You're correct. I have no problem with Mr. Maraj disagreeing with me or having an next opinion. Of course, I'm always uncomfortable when you don't tell the truth.
Right.
And you mislead, trying to mislead people.
Yes.
But that is okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But the minute you start to refer to people, now on more than one occasion, we would have said that I said derogatory things at me.
Yes.
And I took that. That is okay, because it doesn't bother me. I know who I am. But the minute you start to call people hungs and dogs, I will not put up with that.
I hear you.
I have to defend those people. Yes. Because just as you have a different opinion and you're free to express it, the people who call in must be free. That's what this is about, ma'am.
Yes.
You can call and disagree with me or anybody else. And that does not mean that it evokes disrespect.
Right.
And that will piss me off.
Mm-hmm. And you see, Mr. Maraj's response was very ad hominem. He does not deal with facts. He didn't discredit the sources that you raised. He didn't say he read those same sources or he heard them and he had a different view. He didn't say those kind of things. Okay? So I'm just happy that you're back on the air because we're waiting to hear if the program is going to cut.
No, not at all. Our program is on.
Okay.
The management of this station don't behave like other people,
Okay.
They're very mature and so on.
But I'm telling you, I'm saying it now. Tomorrow is a new month. if I have to hear Mr. Maraj on this station again in this kind of way, I cannot listen to this program, to be quite honest. Because you see, if you're feeling that level of disaffection with where you live, you need to find an alternative.
I hear
You cannot be coming on here and constantly saying something which goes against the truth that many of us are experiencing in the country. We don't have to be PNMites, but we are living in a country where we're feeling relatively safe, that we could go out, we could go to the beach, you know, and this kind of thing. Okay, so.
But you have two international agencies crediting the government with good management of the economy, and Mr. Maraj will tell the country that it's on the verge of collapse.
Yeah, he's
but
not interested in that.
that is the politics.
Yeah. Well, that's modern politics. That's
And it's not the truth.
Bias, and I just want to end on this note. You know, I feel sometimes, depending on the people you have on your show as joint presenters and so, maybe some of them need some kind of psycho evaluation. Okay?
Thanks for your call.
Okay, bye-bye.
Let's take another call. Good afternoon. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darian. Blessings to you.
Same to you.
Darian, as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. So we're not going to allow Mr. Maraj to bring us down to his level. He has a problem with our Prime Minister, who I think is the brightest person right now in the region, if not the world, and they have a problem with his blackness, and he has no problem with it, and they can't take that, Darian. So don't let your pressure go up. I was laughing my head off listening to this man. The worst country, the worst government in the history of Trinidad.
I want to tell you this, ma'am, and I want to tell all our listeners something. When Mr. Maraj made that comment on the eve of emancipation, it's then you could call people hongs who disagree with you. They just disagree with you.
Oh my God.
Who are these callers that you're describing as hongs?
Yeah.
Because you think that they are supporters of the PNM.
That's right.
And if they are supporters of the PNM, in your mind, they look a particular way. So the minute that they challenge you, you could call them hongs, dogs. No, I'm not tolerating that. On the eve of emancipation,
all right.
Sorry, I'm not doing that. Not today or no other time.
Thank you, Darian, and you enjoy your day tomorrow. God bless you.
Sure, same to you. Take care.
Proud. We're black and be proud.
Very black and proud. Have a call. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, Darian.
Yes?
Any feedback? Good evening, brother.
Nah, everything normal with you here.
Yeah. There, Marcel.
Oi.
Why I don't understand all this vilification that people who support this government and support the policies that this government brings forward. I do not. It baffles me, Darian, how what they call us is what they are then. If you understand, they're projecting it. Because I cannot see a person aspiring for executive office who has a resume, and in that resume contains what you spoke about this evening and 100 million bullets so far in a financial report. The bullets contain 5.562. This is reported, this is papers, all this is in the newspapers, it's all over the place, right? And 7.62 or whatever, 5.5 or wherever the numbers is. And all the murders is not like long time with the revolver, 1-2 quick shot and you run and you scamper, nothing like that. The person might die. It's about 15, 21. And the bullets when the news thing, TTPS, TTG, 5.562, whatever, 7.62. And we have a financial audit that contains. Now, this topic is directly related to the murders and the crime in the country. And your morning talk show wouldn't look at it as a priority topic. Nobody else is looking at it as a priority topic. And these bullets, 100 million probably, is what is showing up everywhere. Now, this is not no supraluminal total immersion frequency transmutation 0-point energy toroid engine science. Darian Marcel, I would have respect. Who want to say I'm trying to song flying social engine anyway. Who want to say I want to song intelligent? Die them. This brother has a report that he does not want laid in the listen. I stupid, I just a co-fan. Darian Marcel, you have a very good evening, brother.
Thanks, brother.
You be
Thanks
good.
for your call. Yeah. Take our next call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Ralph! Ooh. I'm coming at you, I'm a hound. Damn, Ralph. But first, I'm going to sing a song for you. I see your true colors shining through. Mr. Mirage, slip showing, everything showing. Like they tell you, you get orders from the top. Jump out, Ralph. It's time to jump out. I have never heard anything and such blatant lies. Any other government had to deal with COVID and the international thing that is happening where countries are concerned with their finances and so on. Internationally. You know what was COVID for this little island here? You find Dr. Rowley is the worst? Go ask the President of the United States. Think of how these people think about this man abroad. Well educated, and you come in to tell this man that he is the worst? You see, you cannot use corruption, and that is what throws down governments. I don't care. That's what throws down a government. So you fund the crime and you talk with your gangsters and so on, and then all of a sudden, crime people being murdered. You can't find corruption. Long gone are the days when the Chinese used to come here with a Trinidad and Tobago passport, Mr. Ralph Mirage. The Chinese people used to come here handing you a Trinidad and Tobago passport, and you can't even ask them their name. They're showing you you have to fill out all the forms for them, but they had a Trinidad and Tobago. Who was the Minister of Foreign Affairs at that time? Anyways, listen, you came out this evening in your full colors. Oh,
but I wanna point out something to you, caller, and to all our listeners who are listening. I want to tell you what this was about. If you notice, not for the first time, but particularly this afternoon, Mr. Mirage was not able to address the issue, not so much of Gary, but the three UNC leaders. Hold on. Who the special branch report said that was before the Joint Select Committee were meeting with the criminal element. And one of the names that was called in the thing is Rudolph Munilal. That is a pet peeve for Mr. Mirage.
Listen.
So in order not to deal with that,
yes,
he behaved in a particular way.
I mean, Mr. Mirage is no spring chicken. But everything when it was crime and bacchanal, because I don't know since when it's cool that politicians and three-quarter of the politicians in the parliament are on some sort of a thing with
But the UNC chief whip is before the court.
I don't know since when that is cool. They're innocent until proven guilty. Let them prove themselves. Since when it is cool for when young people looking at the politician.
But then my concern is, what message are you sending? Governance is not about integrity.
Absolutely.
But thanks for your call.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for your call. Let's take a call. I understand. Everything came out this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darian.
What happened?
How are you going?
I'm excellent.
Darian, Mr. Mirage, if you're listening, sir, I'll be very respectful. Tomorrow is a very important day in Trinidad and Tobago and black people around the world. Right? You're going to come out in a day before and use that remark. Mr. Marge, you make me almost cry here for you. Here he's saying this, call people hounds a dog. You know what a hound is? A hound is a dog, Mr. Marge. And for you to be using that kind of remark, I am very deeply hurt and disappointed in you, Mr. Marge. And by the way, you was answering the question that Mr. Darian was proposed to you. How could a former commissioner of police National Security Minister, advising the Prime Minister, a captain in the army could wind down the window and say, can I remark to the Prime Minister on a golf course? Is that a respectable person? Who party that locked up Mr. Jack Warner and spent the night in prison? Wasn't that Kamala Pusabisa was Prime Minister? And Mr. Mirage, I don't remember that. I don't forget that. If you have a 9-day memory, that's you, Mr. Mirage. But you can't stick on the point. You show a true color. They will anything that you show a true color. You are a UNC diehard, but you're not a PNM. You're supposed to be a PNM, but you are not. And by the way, it's Joel Rambaran, that's the guy who came and tell the country that they would have money for 3 days. You try to divert from that. Moody's and all that high, respectable agencies around the world give credit to Trinidad and Tobago. But if Dr. Rowley go to the IMF, you, Mr. Marida, jump out, galloping all over the place, and say, Dr. Rowley, Kamala Pusabisa, I say, Mr. Maraj, Kamala Pusabisa is the worst Prime Minister in history of Trinidad and Tobago. Under her, as Education Minister,
Thanks, caller. Let me give some other people an opportunity to call. Let's manage that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marcel.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Very pleasant afternoon. Welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Marcel.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. And I want to say this. This was very deliberate, and he achieved the objective he wanted to achieve. For us to be having a conversation and becoming emotional among ourselves and diverting any elevating conversation about Black people and their contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. It was deliberate. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks for your call. Let's take another call. Good afternoon.
Hey, Darian. Good afternoon, brother. Sorry about that, though. Good afternoon, Cameron.
Good afternoon, sir.
Darian, stay calm, brother. Stay calm.
Are you welcome?
Yeah,
Are you welcome?
Them fellas campaigning a long time. Them fellas, Ralph, Mariano, all them fellas campaigning. And as a listener, I was taught by the late Joey Carew. And people fueling ill thoughts and ill feelings towards they don't go away. They keep it there, but they are wrong, you know. I experienced that just recently. So, Darian, let me say something. So, the central bank, and let me say Gary Griffith. Dr. Rowley must speak about it. And I know someone who plays golf with it. So, I will find out. And 8 o'clock in the morning, that's visual time, it's daylight. So, it's visual for everybody to see.
But you didn't just wind down the glass. Half of your body were outside of the window.
Right. So, that's where we reach now. So, it's thuggery politics. So it's thuggery, and so it's desperation, and that's the man we want. That's the man that Mrs. Decessor. So it's criminals all over, and people with all kind of different intents. And I know the special branches are wrong when he did it, so they would have witnessed when Gary Griffith hurled his insults towards Dr. Rowley. That you know I do, brother. I cool, you know. I say different to people, you know. I have rallied all my people that I have influence over in the East, and my relatives and people. Gary must not win a seat, right? And I'm very clear about it. And all that nonsense with Ralph Mirage talking, that sentiment about old people proud, that is in UNC strongholds, the desperate and the fighting for the survival. And it's all about who tries, every man for himself. And I'll just tell Trinidad and Tobago end here. People, let's remember the same thing that was being spoken that happened in Tobago with Watson and Farley. And we've seen Tobago suffering for that. And if you all are going to let Mrs. Decessor impose Jack Warner and Gary Griffith on the society again, may dog. I don't want to say it, boy, but God is good. But Ralph has always been at UNC and everybody campaigning. So it's no shocker to me. That people say no on the station now, Darian, they're always talking about the balance and the fear, but the whole family was NAR. Boy, give me a break, boy. Games out here, Darian, boy.
Well, I mean, people entitled, you know, brother. Let me just say this, right? Thanks for your call. Let me just say this, right? In Trinidad and Tobago, the Constitution guarantees each citizen the right of political association. And we must respect and hold that up. And let me live with that. That's okay. That's healthy. Just the same way it's okay for you to support a party, it's the same for anybody else. But you expect somebody who actually we may not we probably our expectations are too great. But we don't just make all the people who are not honest and who are advertised and promoted sometimes as balance. I had to make plenty noise with TV6 and CNC3 and TTT because you call in and asking particular individuals like Dr. Winford James, who anti the PNM, and Ralph Maraj and others about and asking them to be political analysts, and they're not declaring their hand. So when they talk and you interview them, it's the first people you're going to talk to and ask their opinion. But they are not, they're not balanced. They have their political preference, but you continuing to interview them on issues and asking questions about this government, they'll never give you an honest answer. And that is my problem with the media houses. Declare your position and then give me your view. But I want to make this point. Now, you see what I'm here today? On the eve of emancipation. This is not a one-off situation. You see what come out of your mouth is what you have in your heart and what you genuinely feel. And I will never forget it. I will never forget it. Take a call. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Mr. Master, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You need to shut up the radio because we hear in the radio.
My apologies.
And we don't want that.
Yes, of course, sir. Now, Mr. Maraj did not surprise me the least. Right? And you have been co-hosting with him for a number of months, years. So I don't think you ought to be so surprised. But what he's going to say, he will look at that, the other definition of the term honged, to refer to it, and that is what he meant. And I'm certain you are aware of that. But off the cuff, you responded to him because you know what he was implying. Now, I hold no brief, and you will know that by now, for the PNM, Dr. Rowley, the UNC, anybody. But for someone to come to justify, to say that Dr. Rowley is the worst prime minister this country ever had. I have lived through every prime minister from Dr. Williams. And if Mr. Maraj can make that statement, it means somewhere along the line, is either he's losing it upstairs.
No, caller, no. There's a reason for all of this.
Well, I was coming to that thing. But go ahead.
No, I'm just telling you, don't try to play around with it. No. There's a reason for this. There's a clear and straightforward explanation for this.
Yes.
And I know what the facts are.
Right. But hence the reason, well, I just try to be middle. That was either this or I'll come into the other one. But either each way, the outcome after the end is one of disgust. His whole conduct is putrid and downright disgraceful and nasty. Have a good day, sir.
Let's take our call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Darian. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Darian, I agree on the rule of law that one is innocent until proven guilty. But I'm also looking at Sepp Blatter, Charles Blazer, and the Warriors, Jack Warner's sons, which also is part of the matter, and who went through the process and they were dealt with. So to say that you should not go and play a name and come back, as he was first said by his prime minister, to go and play a name and come back, Mr. Warner doesn't play his name. So I do not know for a fact whether he is innocent, whether he's guilty. But I know he's running for high public office, and I will have a serious problem with that.
So let me ask you this. And again, I've been pretty friendly with Mr. Warner over the years. And I can't cast, he has a right to be given the opportunity like everybody else to clear his name and to be innocent. But if you tell him to go and clear his name and then come back, it's because you will satisfy he has questions to answer.
Yeah, she did.
What is different now when he has not yet cleared his name, but you want him back?
That's the big question in everybody's mind. The people want to know what is Kamala's logic in bringing back Jack and want to put him back into the
But
fold.
you know, I want to tell you this. One of the callers hinted towards it. But I want to say this. The situation I spoke about this afternoon, and I allowed people to vent, was this. There is a Joint Select Committee report from the police about senior UNC members of parliament meeting with gang leaders. And the question as to whether, hold on, play the recording for me. As to whether the fuel of murder and crime in Trinidad and Tobago is being funded for political reasons.
And also to have to look at why it is that, it could be, you would say what happened once, it happened twice, that's just thing. But why is it always that people who have serious baggage tend to have safety in the UNC? You have to ask yourself these things. And then again, when I think about what happened with Haiti.
What you say? What is it, Jesse?
Why it is that people who have baggage always find a place in the UNC.
All I would answer was Section 34.
Exactly.
Thanks for your call. I want to play this. Just for you to remember, not me saying that. Ria Tate. Now listen to this.
That Smari went before the Joint Select Committee 3 years ago. This is not 8 years ago. This is 3. And it's like Smari don't remember the crap he's talk. Because he went before the Joint Select Committee and told the Joint Select Committee of Parliament under oath that the leader of the opposition is leading a political party that is paying $42 million in 2 contracts to gangs to disrupt the country and help get them back into office. Now, Smari, we're telling we, how long ago did you and Kamala fall back in love? How long ago? Was it? It's not 8 years ago. You said that was 8 years ago for the video, and it's 3 years ago for the Joint Select Committee. How long ago it was? Let me speculate. When you lost the police commissioner work?
Let's take another call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you very much, Aaron. I was hounded out of office once. I wasn't treated well, and I didn't feel like a dog. I listened well to how Ralph said what he said. And I don't believe that it was intended as a slur against black people. I think it was a metaphoric use of language.
I'm not surprised that you will say that, Joe.
Yeah, well, that's okay. But why about me? That's a personal statement to make.
But I'm saying, but I'm clear what I said, Joe. I said I am not surprised that you would say that.
By that?
But I was very clear, Joe. I'm not surprised that you would say something like that.
Why can't I have that point of view?
But you do have it. I didn't tell you shouldn't have it. I never said you shouldn't have it.
Surprised.
I said I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised.
That's what I said.
Why are you not surprised?
Let me leave it at that now.
Yeah, because you see, you're looking for all kinds of things below rocks that probably don't
For me? Really?
Yeah, probably.
Joe.
I mean, the issue is the governance of Trinidad and Tobago. That's the issue. The issue is how the people benefit from how it's governed. The issue is how people are represented. They don't have any other issue. All them kind of personality thing in between. I'm not giving anybody justification for anything else. I'm dealing with a specific issue, and I think to blow that to that degree is only to create foment a kind of derision that I don't think is.
I am the one who created the division.
No, derision.
I am the one creating it.
Well, I mean, but what you're saying is what the man says something racist.
So hold on. I must sit here. I must sit here on the eve of emancipation as a proud man of African descent and allow Mr. Maraj.
I don't think that is necessary.
But that's you. And that's why I said I know I'm not surprised by your statement. But I am not.
Yeah,
and by the way,
but you have a different
hold on.
From you, and you're not over on that side. You like to ball them now and buff them now.
So you find out about it now and buffing it down.
Well, I mean, that's the whole tone. What's that tone for? We're having a discussion.
Well, I want to tell you, you see what I'm saying to you? on the eve of emancipation, I am not surprised that you would say something like this.
Why are you not surprised?
Because I recognize who you are.
Why you want to be in the shadow? Come out open.
I'm not in no shadow. I think you have just come out of the shadow yourself. I am not surprised. So it's okay for somebody. You have a discomfort with me elevating my voice. You think the people who listen, who want to call the program comfortable song being talked as a hound?
Something wrong with you.
He's a hound?
There's something wrong with him. Yeah.
You thanks for calling. I'm not letting you get away with that. You want to justify Ralph utterance? Get a line, not with me. I'm not allowing that. Take a call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. Darian, I lived here between 2010 and 2015. I lived here and I saw grenade attack coming out of the jail. Who was the Minister of National Security? Who was the advisor to the Prime Minister? That is still out. But I live here and I saw that. I saw a SOE be declared to fight crime. I saw 5 different Ministers of National Security was placed upon us and removed. I was here when a helicopter was used to travel from Port of Spain to the Philippines at $12,000 US a trip. I was here when fake papers were found each and everywhere. I was here also when a Clark was the head of the National Security Council and land was purchased at 25 million and sold for 75 million. So when you say to me this is the worst government, when you say this is the worst government ever, I am wondering if 2010 to 2015 is being looked at. I am wondering. We have a prime minister that is recognized across the world. I am wondering when Jack said was a prime minister vomited Gandhi statue in India, if this was this prime minister that we have now that is considered the worst in the world.
Thanks for your call, caller.
Thank you.
I want to end the program with this song. And let me tell you this, I make no apologies, Trinidad and Tobago, for taking the position I've taken. You don't call people hongs and then on reflection tell me about what some philosophical or some stupidness, and then you want to justify that. I'm not taking that. I'm not tolerating that. And if you feel you want to call and support that and tell me that I am the one who make it sound racist, well then something terribly wrong with you. But I'll have a good afternoon. Listen, we leave with this song. I want to hear this song. I'm familiar with them.
Compare and contrast. And let me tell you fast. And in my conclusion, I see some black men as Jack. But since the days of slavery, black man heart is hard like stone. Cause it's black man who make black man groan. Cause black man never like his own. That's why since last election, crow grieving. Look at how all you treat Patrick Manning. The way all you cuss him, run him and tell him go. I never see the Indian street pass the pande so. When pande deep and Mac, they cut switch from the tail. Indians went and they candle like preaching by the jail. So on behalf of a few good niggas that I know, well, you should never ever treat me somebody so. Shame on you, Dada. Errol McLeod, Anil Ram, Cock, and Obika. The way all you destroy the black brother, you are poor prostitutes of black power. Look at how all you get weak. McLeod I now choking him, he could hardly speak. I'm so disappointed in you, black man. All you said that late bottom African. All you have shame. Give back the African man his name. You get a big white police commissioner. Where are the advocates of black power? Must co-sign here and with each eye. And never see them put tears in bathtub and the eye to the posto. Oscar B and crazy. You must understand. All of them is late bottom African. All you sell we out. Look at all you have black people suffer it all about. I'm waiting for all you for emancipation. Hypocrite, weak, lying, late bottom African. Oh, la, 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 la. Chalky did vex with Valley, but Chalky should apologize publicly, cause this hypocrite that she look. Valley was right to call all you mook, cause no woman who wears an ovary voted against the UNC, but Hazel Brown, which she had wrap up on Ducar and platform voting for cut. How come Chalky never ever sing about this? No songs about this if I were abortionist. But he make Eric Williams Chambers and Patrick Reed. Any black government pound them till they leave. For 20 years, Patrick was the boss in the land. He lost and went back to his humble home in Copoland. But in 6 months, damn not show you one Mako Bongolo. Oh, you should never ever treat me somebody so. Shame on Hazel Brown. Look how you have black woman head dragging on the ground. If Rosa Parks was alive here, where she'd do? Can you in the back at the bus and start to pinch you? So, on you brown and frown, give back the African, the head wrap and gum. I'm so disappointed in you, woman. Another link for the African. All your hair has shame. On this note, I must call Bona Centro's name. S-Class, all you ain't got. Remember. When I used to tell all you say was race. No, not one of them ministers will watch me straight in my face. Is that I don't know, inaccuracies and lies. I'm watching these dishonest men dress up with jacket and tie. Sandy said that Rashmi, she have a degree. He say how she qualified, I know that he lied. He say she went UE and have a PhD. They feel they could fool somebody lying.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 6.
Government told to settle outstanding salary negotiations for workers of Blind Welfare Association now. Couva South MP leads protest calling for better roads in the constituency. El Socorro teenager Selena Narcis reported missing. And in the U.S., Mar-a-Lago worker accused of scheming with Donald Trump appears in court. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Now with the news in detail, I am Kevin Garcia. There is a call for wage negotiations for visually impaired workers to be settled now. The call comes from the Representing All Trinidad Workers Trade Union. President General Nirvan Maharaj says talks have been going on for too long without arriving at an agreement. He says workers are left on the wayside while nothing is being done. Mr. Maharaj is calling for a favorable end to talks.
The Blind Welfare Association in September 2020 proposed a 15% increase in wages over a 5-year period from 2016 to 2020. In March 2022, as other items were being negotiated, the association reneged on its proposal, stating that it was now waiting on the Minister of Finance and the CPO for guidance and advice. To date, no reasonable proposal has been made. In fact, the association has now reverted to offering 0.000% wage increase to the workers for that negotiating period.
He says things are not adding up.
There is no doubt in the mind of the union that the association is indeed playing smart with foolishness. The CPO has offered workers in the public service 4% across the board, and it is hardly likely he will have a different offer for the visually impaired workers in the initial stage of any offer he makes. It is therefore strange that the association will claim that it is waiting on the CPO, yet maintaining its offer of 0% increase for the visually impaired workers. Something is definitely not adding up, and someone is seemingly bending the truth to suit their own ends.
He says the visually impaired workers of the association deserve to be treated with the same respect as everyone else. The Member of Parliament for Vancouver South is rejecting what he calls the recent apology from the Prime Minister over the condition of the nation roadways. Rudranath Indar Singh says, or rather led a demonstration in his constituency this morning, calling for the roads in the area, and in particular the Savonetta Road, to be fixed. He says the main thoroughfare in the area is in a deplorable condition and residents are adversely affected. Mr. Indar Singh slammed the Prime Minister's apology, saying it is akin to buying votes for the upcoming local government election.
This, like the Camden Road, is a main artery which leads to all of these important institutions. And it is a road that is utilized by all nationals when they come to Hoover and environs. And that is why I am saying that we reject the apology made by the Prime Minister for the state of the nation roads. After 8 years of being in the government, I view it as a vulgar, a desperate act on the part of the Prime Minister, obscene, designed to try and buy votes.
Mr. Indar Singh said from 2017 to date, billions of dollars have been allocated to the Ministry of Works and Transport. However, he says the ministry has failed to conduct road repairs.
In 2021, $2.956 billion again. And in 2022, $3.492 billion. And in addition to that, your government monetized the Secondary Roads Rehabilitation and Improvement Company Limited to the tune of $400 million. And up till today, not a road in Vancouver South can be fixed. And that is why we are saying your apology is rejected. It is half-baked. It is out of timing. It is vulgar. It is obscene. It is contemptuous. It is disdainful.
Mr. Indar Singh says the time for apologies is over and it is time for action. The Coast Guard and the Hunters Search and Rescue Team continue the search for missing teen Tyree Singh in the waters of Manzanilla. The 16-year-old was bathing at Mahana Drive Beach yesterday when he went under. Tyrese was among a group of friends bathing in the seawater when he got into difficulty. Onlookers say he went under but never resurfaced. And in another incident, a 9-year-old boy is suspected to have drowned in Toko. Reports say the incident took place yesterday when 5 people got into difficulty while bathing at Mission Beach in Toko. News Center 5 understands 4 of them were rescued while the boy disappeared underwater. The police and the TNT Coast Guard were notified. Up till last evening, the boy was still missing. The team is said to be assisting in locating the 2 teenagers. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, head of the group, Captain Valence Marambarat, said his group has partnered with other relevant state agencies in finding the boys.
A team left at
3 a.m. to head to Tuku, and the other team arrived at Miaro at about 8 a.m. this morning. As at 8:10 a.m. this morning, the team in Tuku, which I'm currently leading, covered about 3 kilometers of shoreline from where Omari Providence went missing, the 9-year-old boy. And in Miaro, they're currently covering 2 to 3 kilometers as well of coastline. That is where 16-year-old Tyrese Singh went missing at sea yesterday. So at this point in time, we found nothing. We've located nothing at all, but the search continues.
Meanwhile, an El Socorro teenager goes missing, and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is seeking the urgent assistance of the public in locating her. She is 15-year-old Selena Narcis. Selena was last seen around 10 a.m. on July 30th, 2023, and reported missing to the Barataria Police Station around 3:30 p.m. on that same date. Police say she is of mixed descent, 5 feet 2 inches tall, of slim build, and brown in complexion with long black hair. Selena was last seen wearing a black and white striped dress and a pair of black and white sneakers. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Selena Narcis is asked to call the Barataria Police, 800 TIPS, or the nearest police station. The LGBT community renews its call for government to remove the Bagri law. The call comes from Pride TT spokesperson Rudolph Hanamji. In 2017, High Court Justice Davindra Rampasad ruled this country's Bagri laws are unconstitutional, null and void. Government has said it would appeal the ruling. The Attorney General at the time of the ruling, Faris Al-Rawi, said appealing the matter is crucial as there are 26 other laws apart from the Sexual Offences Act which target homosexuality. He said the decision made in this matter will set a precedent on how the other laws are to be treated with. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, Mr. Hanamji said the time has come for the law to be struck from the books.
So ironic that we're about to celebrate Emancipation Day tomorrow, and we still have to let law lords in England determine what is right in our country. We think that is a very deliberately delayed approach. And while you are waiting for law lords in England to tell you what to do, you have your own citizens right here who are victims of discrimination. So it's a failure as far as we are concerned to deal with what the High Court has told them. And if we go on the current track record, the government has been losing a lot of cases before the Privy Council of least. So maybe they should just save the taxpayer dollars and save time and change the law.
Nevertheless, Mr. Hanamji said Pride celebrations 2023 were a success.
I could only feel a great sense of, to use the obvious word, pride and accomplishment, and to see the parade still take place after a month of activities. Again, we're still reeling from COVID-19. This year, there was also pushback from evangelicals and other parties regarding the LGBTQ community, and there was a lot of fear and violence. We lost persons like Kevin violently. So to see people still have that bravery in the face of ongoing struggle really made the committee proud, and I have to give thanks to this year's committee. They had some challenges, but they overcame them, and they did a very good job.
The march took place from Ross Street, which then turned in front of the British High Commission, then to along Ariapita Avenue. The Asante Hene Otumfo Osei Tutu II of Ghana meets with President Christine Kangaloo. His Royal Majesty arrived at Piako Airport last evening to participate in this country's Emancipation Day celebrations. The monarch of the Ashanti Kingdom of Ghana and his entourage paid a courtesy call on Her Excellency this morning. King Tutu II is the 16th monarch of the historical empire of Asante and ceremonial ruler of the Ashanti people. Before his departure from Ghana yesterday, the king told reporters at home he was looking forward to the visit.
I feel it to be a part of me. And my people are there, my brothers and sisters are there, and therefore it's more of excitement for me to go and see where they are. I know also of the very long collaboration. George Padmore, for example, hasn't been in Ghana for all these years. And therefore, the excitement is more so where you know that people like George Padmore who have been here, and then Kwame Nkrumah linking up with them and all that. So we believe strongly that the linkage of brotherhood and sisterhood is there. On personal view, being the King of Ashanti also means that I'm going to meet my people also there. Sure. To also relate to them in terms of our cultural identity and everything. And therefore, we all look forward to the visit.
On his arrival yesterday, he was met by a ministerial team. Among them was Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines. Speaking about the experience, Minister Hines said this morning he was excited and proud. He believes the King's visit will inspire the entire population.
I am more than happy and elated at that because I know the afflictions of the enslavement that we all passed through. I know that there are scars that slavery has left behind. I know what racism and discrimination against Africans have caused.